Okay, so, I'm white as a bitch. White as a bitch? Is that a thing? So, basically what I'm gonna talk about today is just... I'm gonna do like a recap of what's been happening in my life because I haven't done a sit-down video in a very long time, like a personal one. And like, yeah, most people that watch my videos like know what's going on in my life and what has happened in the past year, but not everyone, so I'm just gonna go into that. So if you care to hear about my junior year and brief descriptions of my hospital visits and boyfriend in jail drama, keep watching. Junior year was a shit show. I'm now a senior in high school and my grades aren't the best because, you know, mental health. So junior year, I went to the mental hospital January 2nd. So it was, you know, right in the middle of the second semester. Great timing. I was there for a week. I was released. And that same day I went back. So like world record of going back to the mental hospital. That time I was off medication, so I was really struggling because, you know, when you have a chemical imbalance and all of that, like, you need it fixed. So that's what was happening then. But the mental hospital, like, I'll make like separate videos about my visits because I feel like each visit has a different impact and like it affects you differently slash helps you differently, because it all depends on the kids that are there and like the ages and whatnot. But when I was there in January, I mean, I made some really good friendships, but there was a few toxic people there that like it was hard to be there because they were finding ways to harm themselves, and like that's really not healthy for me when I'm like trying my best to like not. Oh, I was put on Cymbalta and that was like the third antidepressant I was on. I don't know, I can like talk about my story more in depth in a different video. I don't know if you guys care that much, but basically I was on Cymbalta and my psychiatrist that I see outside of the hospital is the same one I see in the hospital. So he like bumped up my Cymbalta. We thought things were okay. Nope. Like February hit, second week of February, maybe end of the first week, and it was really fucking me up. I just remember like wanting to die for no reason. Like I was so happy, but like the thoughts of killing myself just wouldn't leave my head. Like I didn't want to die, but my brain was telling me that I wanted to die. If that makes sense. Like I feel like that's one of those things that you'll never fully understand unless you go through it, but you can try to understand, you know. I was just like really planning out in-depth ways. Like it's just like all my brain wanted to think about was killing myself. So the one night it was like I went to a basketball game with my friends. Great night, like I was having fun, laughing, like, you know. But then like something switched in my brain and I was like practicing hanging myself, like in my, like if I could do it from my room, and I was just really struggling. I was having a breakdown and I knew that I needed help. And this is something that I've worked very hard with, is reaching help even though I don't necessarily want it, because a part of me does. And in this case I did want to live. So I went downstairs, told my mom. She refused to take me to the hospital, so I like took like 20 something ibuprofens because it's so hard to overdose on them. And my mom still wouldn't take me to the doctors, so then like to the hospital. Mind you, the hospital is literally right down the road, like a 2-minute walk, not even. Like I can make it in 1 minute. So I took it upon myself to, mind you, I have anxiety. Like this shit, it's unlike me. I walked to the hospital and checked myself in and basically tell them, oh, like I just kind of try to kill myself, but not like really. Like I don't want to die, like I just want to get help. And like, you know, most people just don't get it. So then I had to stay overnight in an IV, like 24-hour watch. And then legally in New York State they have to take you to a mental hospital from the hospital, and then like go from there, like just like legal things. So then I rode an ambulance to Berlin. That visit, like, not that visit, that time in the hospital was hard because my mom like just refused to visit me and stuff because we were dealing with a lot. Like, we were both like diagnosed with like another mental disorder, and like, you know, she's dealing with things from her past, but like, yeah. So I missed a shit ton of school. So my grades were suffering, and I'm like a straight A, like National Honor Society student, so like that really fucks me up. The day after I got out of the mental hospital, because I got out of the mental hospital February 14th of last year, so it's been like a year. The day after, me and my friends decided to go to a basketball game because my friend was dating like the star player, and like, you know, well, they're still kind of dating. And you know, just like high school stuff, like, and so we went to a basketball game like out like near like it's like on the reservation kind of. It's in like this one town, but I'm not gonna say it because like on the way home it was very, very icy and snowy, and it was my first winter ever driving. Has been my only winter driving because I didn't drive this year. And I mean, I wasn't speeding. I should have been like going slower because of the circumstances of the weather, but like I wasn't, like, I didn't know that, like I didn't know how much the car could take because I never went through like snow and ice and stuff. And mind you, these roads like aren't the best. They're like back roads, like curvy type, you know. If you're from like my area, like, you know what I'm talking about. And so I just remember like we were all like singing, we were all just so genuinely happy at the moment. And then I just remember like things just going black, boom boom, we end up in a ditch, can't get my friends out, guys help us. It was fucking intense. Like, I will do a story time on that, but yeah, all of these can be like separate story times. This is just a sum of everything, so you get why I wasn't posting regularly. So yeah, and so obviously that made me want to kill myself because my friend ended up having, the two of them ended up having like pretty serious injuries. The one was like pretty serious. I was really depressed about that, but I ended up actually not going back to the hospital despite my breakdown and saying that I should have killed myself instead of getting help. And it was just very emotional, but it brought me and who now is my best friend closer. So I guess like, good things did come out of it, but like I totaled my dad's car and had to pay fines, and my license is currently suspended. And yes, it's been a year like since the accident. Month-ish after the car accident, I started talking to this boy. And I knew this boy was trouble, but like, you know how it goes. And then we were in a very rocky relationship, currently-ish, kind of, still are, but basically I was dating this boy and he like moved in with me. Like, my parents were okay with it, like there was extreme circumstances with it, or at least we thought. And so I like became very close with him, but like we had a lot of problems that I can't really go into. Like, I mean I can, but like that would be like a story time like with his permission because it involves somebody else, which like that like has to do with the next part. I can't really personally like talk about it too much, but like he was in jail for most of the summer, and so I was like dating somebody in jail, so it was really hard because like you get phone calls and the phone calls cost money, and then like visiting them, like you get an hour visit, you get like one pack of a kiss, like it's really hard. And then when he got out of jail, we had more complications in the relationship, and now things are just kind of a mess. But like boys fuck you up, like girls do too, like just relationships. So like having like a very intense like grown-up relationship that like took a lot of my time. I had a job too, like I actually worked. I was a cashier at a grocery store, but also in the summer, end of August, soccer was starting and I went to the hospital again, basically because like the whole summer I didn't take my meds, so like things started to like, you know, go very downhill. So I wanted to be back on my meds before school started, and ideally before I turned 18. So I was back on my meds, hospital stay was like a week again. Got out, more soccer, and then school started senior year. Whoop whoop. I mean, senior year has been basically shit. But like, what year isn't? Senior year, I went to the mental hospital end of November, beginning of December. But this time, like, I like really like had an attempt like a week before, and then like I was like, okay, like I need to go to the mental hospital. Like, yeah, like it was like a serious attempt. Like I really wanted to fucking die, and I was really aiming towards it. But yeah, so basically my senior grades are shit because of it. I'm just always a mess. It's just me. It's just who I am. So that was like my junior year update. 2017 reflection. I want a video about like my hospitalizations, more of my relationship ish, like if you can call it, the past relationship slash relationship, past relationship slash relationship, the car accident, junior year advice, like any of that, just leave it down in the comments and I will film it, because now I'm inspired. I have a tripod, I have lights, like I am ready for this shit now that, you know, I can't get paid. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I don't know why. Subscribe down below. What else is there? I already said comment. Yeah, basically just subscribe, please.